New Antarctic starfish are doting parents and vicious predators. A close examination of a collection of starfish in the Smithsonian revealed even more starfish inside those starfish. Christopher Ma, a biologist at the Smithsonian, was scouring the shelves of the museum for deep-sea starfish when he had an idea. Why not see if any of the specimens were preserved with their last meal still digesting inside of them, to help understand their natural diet? Following this whim, he cut open a preserved stellar sea creature from Antarctica, but instead of food, he found new life frozen in time within the creature's coelomic cavity. There were around 10 baby sea stars, each the spitting image of their parent, which like many starfish was probably hermaphroditic. Dr. Ma described the brooding starfish as a new species, Paralophaster. He published the finding, along with a plethora of other natural history observations of Antarctic starfish, in the journal Zootoxa in June. Dr. Ma also describes a new genus of starfish and 10 additional new species. Starfish are invertebrates of the class Asteroidea, so they're also known as asteroids. Yes, another cosmic name. You have to go back to 1940 to find the last time a novel brooding species from Antarctica was described. Dr. Ma said. P. Ferax is unlike most starfish species, which reproduce by shooting their eggs and sperm into the water and leave their young to fend for themselves. But the habit of holding on to offspring, brooding, has evolved multiple times and is especially common in Antarctic waters. The popularity of parental care in Antarctic asteroids may have to do with the strength of the currents flowing through their frigid homes, said Cynthia Frace, a starfish biologist at the Austral Center for Scientific Research in Ushuaia, Argentina. The currents are tough, so it's hard to reach the seafloor to settle as a larva. Dr. Frace said. Many species are also so deep down that sunlight can't reach photosynthetic plankton, leaving the larvae with little food to eat. For the babies to survive, it makes sense for a parent to raise them until they're big enough to scuttle off on their own. While many starfish brood their young, they don't all use the same parenting strategies. Some, like P. Ferax, hold their little starlets in a special body cavity. Others just put them in their mouths. Still others have developed baby carrier-esque structures between their arms to hold the juveniles, kind of like an armpit cage. Dr. Ma said. While finding brooding babies was a pleasant surprise for Dr. Ma, his instinct to check out whether the starfish were caught chewing their food also proved fruitful for his original question. One specimen, an Antarctic sunstar or Celaster regularis, had a smaller, partially digested starfish of the species Anasterias antarcticus in its mouth. Often erroneously seen as docile or motionless, starfish are in fact voracious predators. Dr. Frace said, preying on sea urchins, crabs and, as Dr. Ma saw, even other starfish. They control the benthic ecosystem. Dr. Frace said. They extend the stomach out of the mouth so they can eat things bigger than themselves. One particularly ravenous specimen, kept at the Smithsonian but not used for this study, has the arm of another starfish sticking out of its mouth. Dr. Ma didn't have to travel to Antarctica to make these discoveries, he just had to go to work. Most of the deep-sea star specimens were collected in the 1960s by the U.S. Antarctic Research Program. When they ended up at the Smithsonian in 2010, nobody paid much attention to them. Dr. Ma hopes his work will shine a spotlight on the importance of good old-fashioned organismal biology. Very few people get down to species level and investigate the critters the way that people used to, he said. Observing the natural history of animals, be they in nature or sitting on a museum shelf, provides the foundation that the rest of zoology depends on. When we do physiology or reproduction, Dr. Frace said, "This kind of work makes it easier for us. Assessment of Antarctic taxonomic diversity for asteroids and other taxa for poorly studied or unknown regions, such as the deep sea, will be important for our understanding of these understudied habitats." 11 new species and a new genus are described from 3 families, Astronid, Goniastrid, Solastrid, within the Valvatida, nearly all of which were collected from deep sea settings below 1000 m by the U.S. Antarctic Research Program in the 1960s. A new subfamily, the Campylastron subfam, November, is designated for Campylaster and Astrotylus November, general, which were supported as sister taxa on a monophyletic clade within the Astronid. Astrotylus November is described to accommodate Anseropoda antarctica and 4 new bathyal and abyssal species, which are a significant morphological divergence from the typological definition of Anseropoda. New species of the Goniastrid Notiosramus and the Solastrid Paralophaster are also described from bathyal depths 2000-3000 m. Paralophaster Ferax N. sp. is among the deepest asteroids known to brood, is the first brooding species within Paralophaster and the second species in the Solastrid known to brood. Following examination of the type and molecular data, Lophaster densus is found to be included within Paralophaster. A review of Antarctic Lophaster species shows additional specimens of Lophaster abbreviatus which support it as a distinct species from Lophaster stens. New occurrence data for bathyal Antarctic asteroidea as well as unusual gut content observations of shallower water species are also included. Starfish or sea stars, a less confusing designation, since they are only very distantly related to fish, are marine invertebrates belonging to the kingdom Animalia, phylum Echinodermata, and class Asteroidea, of which there are over 1,800 known species. The names sea star and starfish also are, incorrectly, used for the closely related brittle stars, which make up the class Ophiuroidea. Characteristics of sea stars include that they exhibit a superficially radial symmetry, since they typically have 5 or more arms which radiate from an indistinct disk, pentaradial symmetry, and tend to be covered in spines. Like other echinoderms, starfish possess an endoskeleton, but do not rely on it for support and locomotion, instead using a hydraulic water vascular system that functions via many projections called tube feet, located on the ventral surface of the starfish's arms. Starfish are an essential part of marine food chains, being eaten as larvae and becoming voracious predators upon reaching adulthood, with their diet including mollusks and other marine organisms. They even are able to invert their stomach in order to pull apart and digest their shelled prey. For humans, they are a source of aesthetic joy, and their remarkable characteristics, movement based on a hydraulic system, ability to regenerate lost limbs and invert their stomach, add to the wonder of nature. Some starfish also are captured, dried out, and turned into popular souvenirs or decorations. While starfish can reproduce sexually, if an arm of the starfish is severed from the body and it contains a portion of the central nerve ring, then another starfish can regrow from the severed portion. Lack of knowledge of this capacity increased the role of starfish as pests to commercial clam and oyster beds when fishermen, in an effort to get rid of these predators, would cut them up and throw them back into the ocean. There are about 1,800 known living species of starfish, and they occur in all of the Earth's oceans, though the greatest variety of starfish is found in the tropical Indo-Pacific. Habitats range from tropical coral reefs to kelp forests to the deep sea floor, although none live within the water column. All species of starfish found are living as benthos or on the ocean floor. Because echinoderms need to maintain a delicate internal balance in their body, no starfish are found in freshwater environments. External anatomy. Red-knobbed starfish Protoriaster linki, a starfish from the Indian Ocean. Starfish are composed of a central disc from which arms, usually 5, but the number can vary, sprout in pentaradial symmetry. The mouth is located underneath the starfish on the oral or ventral surface, while the anus is located on the top of the animal. The spiny upper surface covering the species is called the aboral, meaning the side opposite to the mouth or dorsal surface. On this surface there is a structure called the madrepore or the sieve plate, a small white spot located slightly off-center on the central disc, which acts as a water filter and supplies the starfish's water vascular system with water to move. Schmedelian pincushion sea star on Meedhup Prue House Reef in the Maldives, Culceta schmedeliana. Also on the aboral surface, surrounding the spines, are small white objects known as pedicellariae, which are like pairs of claws or jaws that serve to prevent encrusting organisms from colonizing the starfish. The radial canals, a part of the internal anatomy, which extend from the center of the starfish out towards the tips of the arms, have hollow, muscular tube feet branching from them. Each tube foot has a bulb-like ampulla as well as a suckered podium or foot part, which are a part of the water vascular system. Starfish also have a simple photoreceptor eye spot at the end of each arm that is able to see differences of light and dark, enabling the starfish to detect movement. Additional parts, like cribriform organs that are present exclusively in Porcellon astrid, are used to generate current in the burrows made by these starfish. While starfish generally adhere to this basic body plan, there is great variety in the shape, ranging from nearly pentagonal like the Indo-Pacific cush,